Welcome back to the Dupli-Color Garage. My name is Brian and we're continuing work on the 71 Honda CB350 Café inspired build. Now we have the bike set off to the side. We've been working on that for quite some time. We have the fenders sitting up here on the table because that's the next project that we're going to tackle. And we're going to do that with an assortment of Dupli-Color products. Now our plan of attack is refinishing the tops of the fenders all the way to the underside. And I'll show you exactly why. We'll finish the top with the perfect match. That'll give it a real nice black finish. That'll be our base coat. We'll then finish that off with the 1K clear gloss. That will give it a good final gloss finish coat with a good final protection. Now to contrast that gloss from the 1K clear, we're going to paint these support bars with VHT roll bar and chassis satin black, so that double sheen will really set it off nice. Now we are going to refinish the underside of the fenders with the trim and rocker guard, and that will give it a blacked out finish because the underside of these fenders are chrome. So if we have these nice black fenders on top, you're still going to see that chrome, and plus we have the rust that has accumulated over time. We'll want to give that protection from that trim and rocker guard, and that'll take care of that. So the first step here is to remove the support bars, remove the light, and get this chrome sanded down and prepped. All right, so we're gonna mock this up, or at least just kind of make a jig on the cherry picker with these fender supports, just because they're kind of awkward to paint on the table. We don't want to lay them down because the paint will get ruined. And we also are gonna be seeing both sides. So we don't wanna, support them on a box like we originally were going to. So we're gonna go ahead and hook them up right here. And this will give us just a good way to paint these full 360 all the way around. They won't fall. Here. So Phil and I went ahead and sanded these fenders down. It was a ton of work because there was a lot of rust underneath, and then of course biting through that chrome on the top as well. We'll wipe them down with the foaming prep and then hit it with the products.
So I know you said you sanded it down. I'm looking at this right here. What kind of sandpaper is this? It doesn't look normal.
Yeah, it's definitely not your average sandpaper that you'd use to sand walls. Mm-hmm. So this is called emery cloth. It's a medium grit. It's literally a cloth. I mean, you tear it, it sounds like you're tearing, fabric. And it's designed to sand metal or chrome. It's something that's going to bite through it because regular sandpaper is not going to get the job done. So this is something you're definitely going to want to use if you're sanding chrome, like our situation here. And then we'll use the self-etch primer and then the trim and rocker guard over top of that.
Okay, so I know trim and rocker guard is a direct-to-metal product. Why are we using primer then for it?
So that's a good question, another one. The underside of these fenders already get so much road abrasion, and we want that added protection and the bonding capabilities of the self-etch primer. So we'll put that down and then the rocker guard over top of that.
Okay, and how many coats for each product?
So 2 to 3 for each product, and then we want even coverage for both, and then a good even textured finish for the rocker guard.
Sounds good.
So let's grab the foaming prep. Here's your tape. We'll tape off these edges and we'll make it happen.
All right, let's go.
All right. All right, so this is going to be applied in light coats. Definitely don't want to go too heavy with it. Just keep the can moving and put down a coat. We'll see how it looks. And then, like I said, 2 to 3 coats and we'll be good to go.
Awesome. Let's go.
Okay, Sophia, the primer's dry. We let it dry for about 20 minutes. So we're good to go here. All the coverage looks good. So we're gonna apply the trim and rocker guard. This one sprays a little bit different than the primer would. It does have a little bit more force than your standard aerosol can. And then when you lay it down, this one has a textured finish as well. So as we lay down the coats, just be aware of the evenness. Just like any paint job, I wanna be as even as possible. But once we get towards the final coat, we're gonna pull the can back just a bit and kind of dust it on, and it'll give it a more of a coarser texture finish, and that's what we want.
Okay. Sounds
So
good.
again, 2 to 3 coats to full coverage, and then you'll get the feel of it as you start spraying it.
Okay.
All right. All right, so we finished the bottom side with the trim and rocker guard. That is good and dry and looking really good here. And Sophia is giving them one final wipe down with the solvent prep spray, just making sure that we have any dirt, debris that may have collected on the top side from doing the bottom side. So once they're good and clean, we're going to lay down some self-etch primer over top the bare metal to help the perfect match universal black that we're going to use on top of the primer. Once the black base coat is dry, then we'll clear coat it with the 1K clear gloss for that super nice high gloss finish, added protection from UV, scratch and mar resistance, all the good stuff that comes with that product. And these will look phenomenal when they're done. I know they will. So one final wipe down, we'll get the primer and keep going. All right, so we have the fenders and the brackets sitting here on the table, and really things came out excellent. The sheen is amazing on the 1K gloss clear. I mean, we use primers, prep, base coat black, roll bar and chassis, trim and rocker that you use as well.
Yeah, it was definitely a lengthy process using all these different products, but I think it looks fantastic. And like you said, the trim and rocker guard, that was fun to spray with. It has like a textured finish, so the spray is a little bit different on that. So it's good to try.
Yeah, and you did a nice job, you know, sanding, of course, priming, and using that textured finish from the trim and rocker guard. So we have a real nice sheen offset with the brackets, and also...
Yes, we forgot to paint the taillight bracket as well, but we got to it eventually.
Yeah, when we were painting the fender, we saw these holes here, and we couldn't remember what was there, and we had to fish that thing back out. So Phil went ahead, sanded and painted the bracket, so we're all good to go there. And speaking of good to go, the 1K gloss clear is going to help protect these fenders, because being a motorcycle, there's always a tendency of spilling that gas. When you're filling the gas tank, it may overflow and get on the fenders, but you have that gasoline resistance, UV resistance, and also the scratch and mar resistance of the 1K gloss. So we're good to go there. I think this project is all wrapped up.
And don't forget, once we're done with this bike painting and rebuilding it, you have a chance to win it. So follow along on our socials and check out our website for more information on how to enter.
Yeah, and speaking of the website, go to Dupli-Color.com, find out more information about these products and more from Dupli-Color.